Everyone needs to be able to use language, and I think the best way of learning about language is through the written word. If they were back from work or back from school or not playing football as I was, you had a book in your hand. We're paid a lot of time for what we don't do. We don't get to go out on a night, we don't get to enjoy the fattier foods that maybe taste nice. We do get paid to be very, very professional and very athletic, and we know that we are mollycoddled in some ways, but if you don't have the drive within you to try and excel, then you're never going to get anywhere. No matter how far you think you've come and how well you've done, there's always more that you can do and further that you can go.
Children that read regularly at home and develop their early reading skills coming through the nursery, reception and certainly through Key Stage 1 progress better than the children that don't.
The more often you do things, the better you get, and that's probably with everything. The more you practice, the better you get. Well, Graham is our club captain and has a big role to play.
Brynjar, our Icelandic warrior. He's a very, very proud family man. Unfortunately for him, he's totally ruled at home because he's got 3 women telling him what to do. But I've got to say, not only is he a model pro, he's a model dad. De la Cruz, we call him El Presidente because we are certain that when he goes back to Ecuador, he's going to be voted president because of all the charitable work he does. The goalkeeper, Mark Sarneman, 6'3", 16 stone, silly chin hair thing that grows longer and longer and longer depending on his mood. Hard as nails, apart from when he gets at home, because then Amanda, his wife, takes over and she is really, really the tough one.
Marcus, just to let you know that's already boys.
Sometimes I'd rather read to my kids than go play football with them, because we've been playing football all day and you're tired, and you know, a chance to just hang out with them is really good. And we started reading the Hardy Boys, which is something I grew up reading and Amanda did as well. We're usually sitting on this sofa, you know, with both boys like almost, you know, snuggling, and they really like the, you know, the physical contact, you know, of being close and reading. So there's a lot of benefit out of it, I think.
You know, I talked to Marcus about it. He hasn't got a problem with his kids coming to him and they argue about the meanings of books, which I'm really looking forward to, because we still do it now, me and my dad. And then the book gets deeper and you learn more about it, and then you learn, I found I learned more about my dad and he learned quite a bit about me from the stuff we were reading and what we took from it. Great bonding time. The dads are out at work and only get to see the kids at night. They make a special point of it being just them to do the reading.
Usually, most nights before bedtime, we read Icelandic books. It's a good way to settle them down and get them to bed eventually. And they got a gift from one of the grandmothers, so they get one Icelandic book every month sent from home.
Often there's a reluctance for people who have English as an additional language to read English because they feel that they don't have the skills to support their child with the reading. But actually it can be a shared learning process.
Is in the computer is the animal or maybe it's it replies in Spanish and English. Some question I don't understand before. She tell me, oh, she now understand. She come learn quickly.
It's never too early to start reading with your child. Looking at books, sharing books, looking at pictures, identifying pictures in books.
Personally, the best way I found of learning about language and how to use it was reading a book next to mum or dad, and if I didn't understand the word, I'll ask them straight away, not be afraid to ask them, and learn about it that way. Mum and dad always had the idea that if you wanted your kids to be literate, that it was their job, obviously, and learnt at school, but came home and were given books to read and read to and read with.
You job in home, help the children, you learn together, you maybe improve the attention in the book. Maybe the children not interested in home, maybe in the school, maybe the same. She take your book and take my book, stay together. The impression is the father.
We're probably their biggest role models. You know, we see them every day and spend a lot of time with them. So it's important to them that what we do, they probably pick up.
Every day we try and get a book into our hands and get to turn the pages and get to look at the characters and explain what the characters are. Karen's particularly good at it. She's got a lot more patience than I have. She'll say what's on the page, what colours there are, can you see this, can you point to this, and in that way, interacts with Freya a lot more, whereas I've got to say it's really sad. I read the story. We read the old woman that swallowed a fly the other day, and I was whizzing through it trying to get to the end, and Karen was describing it the whole way through, and we had to have a long hard look at myself.
If we look at the Xbox games, there's a lot of times where there's little stories on there, and the kids are so easy because they know they just hit the A button and they fast forward it and get on because they don't. But I force them to read it.
They like watching the television or play the video games, but we try to set designated times or where they play or do something else, and that's a good time to read or draw or do something that they sort of stimulates them.
TV, unless we're watching football, it's very rarely on. So we watch football, I'll be reading a book, and it's just something that has always been, it's not driven into me, but it was offered to me. This is something you can enjoy, try it. And we want to do that to Freya. I don't want to push her into anything, but this is another avenue that you can go down and you can learn from and you can enjoy, that you don't have to do with anyone else. You don't have to do it for anyone else. It's for you. And if you can get enjoyment from it, then brilliant.